Let me tell you that a strong support system can really make or break this journey for you, and it's up to you really to be the ambassador, the champion for your lifestyle. It might be difficult if you're the only one following this journey right now, and this is why I made this video for you today, because you are gonna run into some challenges and you can't be mad at yourself. All you can do is get back on the path once you fall off track. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my top vegan must-haves, as well as 4 tips to get into this vegan game if you are the only person, because you are not alone. By the way, I was also the only one in my family vegan. I'm still the only one in my family vegan. Firstly, congratulations to Vanda Taylor, who wins a Be Well hamper worth 1,200 Rand. Vanda, so please send me your email address. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can pop me an email. Email address is in the description, so I can send you your prize as soon as possible. If you haven't already watched the first video in this series, go watch the video, because I shared 15 tips on how to go vegan as a beginner, which includes some things that my dietitian told me, as well as a list of resources in the description. I'm really blessed in that when I started this journey just over 3 years ago, my family and friends were really supportive of what I was doing. They were just obviously concerned that I was healthy, that I was getting enough nutrients, and they recommended that I go see a specialist and that I do my research, and obviously realizing that this decision that I'm making is going to impact my entire life, because when you change your diet, it impacts your health, and when your health is affected, then it impacts your work, and when your work is affected, it impacts your relationships. So your entire life does change when you go on a vegan diet. I also think that because I'm the kind of person always trying new things, and my family already knew that I was wanting to live a healthier lifestyle, it wasn't a huge surprise for them to see that I was now changing my diet. But I'm going to share 4 of the tips that have really been working for me. The first thing to do is to prepare your own food. Whether I'm going to a braai, I'm going to a gathering, I always ensure that I take a dish that I can also eat from, so that it accommodates other people, but so that I'm there not feeling hungry. You know, sometimes people try to accommodate you, but then either they've made a vegetarian meal and forgot that you're vegan. So it's nice that you always just prepare your own meal, and I'm sure that your friends and whoever you're seeing would also appreciate that you brought something with you. By the time I went vegan, I wasn't living at home, I was cooking my own food, but before then I was pescatarian, which is basically on a plant-based diet and also just eating fish. And I wasn't eating dairy either, no cheese, no milk, no butter. And my family and I had an agreement that we would alternate cooking supper. If you are living with other people who aren't on a plant-based diet, first prepare the base of the meal, so all the plant-based stuff first, and then you can include whatever else, especially if you are the one who's mostly cooking the food. At the time, I had a friend who was so accommodating. When he was cooking, he would ensure that he was cooking food for himself separately to what he was cooking for me. Keep snacks nearby. Oh my word, sometimes you will run into situations where you are feeling hungry, you're either traveling, you're in a different place, and the options are limited. So I always keep snacks handy. I keep snacks in my car, I'll keep snacks in my handbag. I also always ensure that I request for a vegan meal in advance, depending on where I'm going to. But even then, sometimes airlines get it wrong, or they don't prepare your meal in the right way, or they've included a certain type of food that you don't eat. Same thing applies when I go to events. Sometimes you get there and the vegan option is a sandwich with cucumber on it, and to me that's not really a healthy meal. It's not a meal that's going to give me any nutrition for that matter. So I always ensure that I have some nuts and fruit available. Avoid flipping to accommodate friends and family. I found throughout the years that being vegan is more of a mind shift, because there will be times where people are like, don't you want a piece of pizza? Don't you want a piece of this? Don't you want this? Don't you want that? and it's not vegan, you'll know it's not vegan, and then they're like, okay, cool, just this one time, just this one time. So just ensure that when you're doing this, you understand why you're actually doing it. Whatever your reason is for going vegan, ensure that that is much stronger, that goal to succeed, to be healthy, to change the world is because you want to do it, and it's much stronger than that temporary satisfaction of having a piece of meat. Suggest places to eat. So when you're out with your friends, when you go to different places, when you're restaurant hopping, always ensure that you're suggesting a place that accommodates you. If you don't suggest a place, or you don't do your research and see that the place you're going to accommodates vegans, you'll probably be one in a group of 10 people who is not eating, or the person who has one meal option and can't really choose anything else. A good example of this is that I actually went to recently. I spoke to the waitress. She was like, yes, we have vegan options. Checked on the menu, there's one option. And when I ordered the one option, it was lovely. Granted, it was really lovely. I enjoyed it. They prepared it really well. But it was so little that I had to order it twice. So when I suggest going to new restaurants, my friends are always keen to try it, which I'm really grateful for. So if you don't have friends like that, maybe it's time to make some new friends. Now for the food. My grocery list for the week comes to about 500 Rand at most, and that's when I'm not buying mock meats. It depends on what I'm buying, what I need in my household. Well, the must-haves that I'm going to share with you now is basically what I have in my home on a regular basis. And when I'm buying mock meats, those are relatively pricier, like your Beyond Meat mince, your Fry's Family chicken nuggets, your chicken pie, like everything that's imitation will be way more expensive. It will be the most expensive thing on your grocery list. Buying whole foods like carrots and potatoes, all that fruit and veg, that's definitely not going to be the most expensive on your grocery list. If you're buying brown rice and whatever else I'm going to show you now, that's not going to be the most expensive thing on your list. And for me, like I said in my first video, 80% of the time I'm eating healthy. I'm preparing my own food, and I prepare my food one in advance, like earlier in the day. So by lunchtime or by supper time, my stuff is ready to eat, and I'm not feeling like, oh, I don't want to really make supper. And this list of must-haves is just what is in my kitchen on a regular basis. I'm not saying go out and buy every single thing that I have in my kitchen, but this is just for me to maintain a healthy diet and to enjoy myself as a vegan. Foods that I eat is healthy, but that I'm also not limiting myself to having some imitation, some mock meat, some mince here and there, some spaghetti bolognese, some pasta, you know, but it's all healthier options because it's plant-based. So the dairy-free milk that I use mostly is almond milk. I actually started drinking this Alpro recently. I'm not even really too sure what this roasted almond milk tastes like, but I tried the other one, the normal one, and that's quite nice. My usual almond milk that I buy is from Woolies. It's an unsweetened almond milk, and these two don't really taste that much different, but this is the most convenient one for me to get, so I just always get this. But my favorite almond milk to get is the Almond Breeze, and it is the red one, the one with like a red banner. If you're thinking of getting almond milk, then that's one to get, but it's all up to you what type of dairy-free milk you want to go for. Coconut oil. So this I use for frying, I use it for baking, I use it for cooking. You would have seen this in some of the videos when I'm greasing a baking pan, or when I'm making like a little stir fry, when I'm stewing a curry. Whatever I'm cooking, I use coconut oil for. And then just to get enough omega-3s, you'll see here that it says omega-369. Hello, you can get omega-369 from flaxseed oil. I don't cook with this oil at all. I drizzle it over my food. after I've cooked it, because this is not an oil that you must cook with because it burns really easily. So that's just something that you want to bear in mind. But yes, you can definitely get omega-369 from flaxseed oil. Oh my word, then cashews. I can't even really show you because there's so little cashews in here, but I really enjoy it because I can make cashew cheese, I can make cream, I can make mousse cakes. I can add it to my stews or my stir fries, just to give it like that nutty flavor. I can make a cashew nut butter. There's so many things that you can make with cashews, and I honestly just love exploring with food and trying new things and, you know, trying new recipes and stuff. So cashews is 100% on my top list of must-haves. Veg stock. So if there's no veg stock in my home, life can simply not go on, because I love flavor. I love cooking with flavor. I like my stews and my curries and whatever I'm eating to be super flavorful. And veg stock is basically just dehydrated vegetables. So it's onions, it's carrots, it's leeks, it's garlic, it's mushroom powder, it's spinach, bay leaf, black pepper. And one thing you must also be sure of is that if you're getting a veg stock, that you get a veg stock that's vegan, because sometimes the veg stock also includes milk. So if it says vegetarian, it probably has milk in it. So just ensure that you get a vegan one. Vegan mayo, oh my word, this one is almost done. I love mayo. Even before I went vegan, I was eating mayo with a lot of things. I've also recently discovered via Be Well, which is this brand, that you can use this in baking as an egg substitute, which I was so surprised by, and it tasted so good. So if you want to get a vegan mayo, Be Well is definitely one of the options to consider. You can get it at Spar. On that note, I get most of my fruit and veg from Woolies because I just prefer the quality of the fruit and veg. And then I get all my other ingredients like my oils, my tin food, and like my chia seeds from Spar, because Spar actually has a wider variety. The Spar that I go to has an Asian section, and because I particularly like Asian style food, I can go and buy soy sauce, I can go and buy rice noodles and seaweed and sushi rice and a lot of different things that I wouldn't normally find at Woolies. The next thing is cauliflower. It's cruciferous veg. I love having cauliflower in my home because obviously it's like really healthy, but then also as an alternative to rice, I just grate the cauliflower and then I cook it for a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, and then it just becomes this soft but a little bit crunchy rice. Lemon juice. So what I usually used to use it for was just to add a few drops to my water to help me drink more water. But now I use it to make my vegan creams and my vegan cheeses, and also use it to add flavor to my food. Avocado. I love avocados because this is another ingredient that I use for my creams. Like if I'm making a pasta, I will make my chips or crisps, whatever you want to call it, with sweet potatoes. And I also make a baked potato. I really make a nice baked potato. I also make oven baked sweet potato chips, which I really love. So there's really a lot of things you can do with potatoes. It also is really good to thicken stews and soups. Whether you decide that you want to have normal potatoes or you just want to have sweet potato, my option is always that I have sweet potatoes. Chickpeas. It's called the chana dal, which is basically dried and split chickpeas. All I do is I throw this into a pot and add some water, and I allow it to cook for about 30 minutes until the chickpeas are soft, and then it turns into a dal, which is like a puree or porridge, but it's made from chickpeas, and you can add spices to it so that it's a little spicy. And in India they actually use this for breakfast, lunch or dinner. This is the chickpeas that I usually buy, because if I'm adding it to my food and I want my chickpeas to be whole, I don't want to really struggle with the cooking. My Instagram family also knows that I don't like cooking chickpeas myself. I think I also said that in my first video. These are the culprits that I don't like cooking myself. Chia seeds. This is what I mostly have as my breakfast when I break my fast. Chia seeds is a good source of protein and also omegas. It's apparently a superfood. For me, this is really great to have with some fruit and some nuts. The same way you would normally have oats. Oats is another whole grain that I don't have a lot of, but I do have sometimes. Rice, especially brown rice, has been my staple for many years. Whatever I just mentioned here, always just know that you do moderation in everything that you eat, everything that you do. Don't overdo it. Oranges, I always ensure that I have water-based fruit and veg around. So that is basically having fruit and veg that is going to hydrate my body. I also ensure that I drink at least 2 liters of water a day, and if I'm not buying filter water, I'm ensuring I only drink boiled water so that I'm not drinking contaminated water, because that actually has happened to me in the past and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Onions, I cannot cook without onions. If I'm cooking a stew, if I'm cooking in a curry, if I'm cooking a stir fry, if it is something for supper and it is savory, onions will be there. And then most of the times, if I'm cooking something spicy, I'll cook with turmeric. I normally buy the whole turmeric instead of the powder version, but they didn't have it at the shop, so I just got this one, and it's fine to buy. And then garlic and ginger. So these are the top foods that's always in my kitchen, mostly in my kitchen. It's what I buy on a regular basis. Most of the time, some of these stuff are still here by the end of the week, like the chia seeds, the grains, all of those foods will probably still be here by the end of the week because there's only so much that you can consume. I always ensure that I'm buying fresh food, and if I decide that I want to freeze it, I'll buy whole fresh foods that I'll cut up in a way that I can freeze it myself. So I'm gonna leave it here, and in my next video I'm gonna share some easy vegan recipes that you can try. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see that video, and go watch the first video if you haven't already watched it. Like I said, I share 15 tips on how to go vegan, and in that video description is also resources to a bunch of recipes, tax-free foods, which foods aren't tax-free, and then also contact details to that dietitian that I saw. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.